So I was listening to, I think it was about a 15-minute Pastor Dow video today. He was talking a little bit about silver. Put a news article or two on the, well, not an article, but a news broadcast or two regarding silver. The fundamentals, as he said, they're still there. Just because the prices are being pushed down right now, like I've said a million times, they will try to scare everybody, scare the weak hands, scare the people into selling off. It normally works. People get nervous, their gut feelings kick in. Oh, this isn't good. You may go down to 20. I'm in at 30. Oh no. That's the mentality of a day trader, not someone who sees the fundamentals that are driving the long term. So, to give you an idea of what's happening, let me go ahead and read you a few things here. Headline: China quietly building gold reserves as gold imports from Hong Kong soar by 587% in first quarter this year. Gold reserves, China quietly building gold reserves as gold imports from Hong Kong soar by 587% in the first quarter of 2012. A month ago, we ended up with a hilarious situation. This is from Zero Hedge, by the way, where the U.S. was actively considering releasing petroleum from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, even as China was demonstratively and concurrently adding to its strategic inventory. Now, as the developed world is seeing day after day of gold hammering on amusing flights of fancy that central banks won't be forced to engage in more and even bigger rounds of monetary dilution, and where the seller apparently has no regard for getting a good price, but merely seeks to crash the bid stack, slams various precious metal prices. We see the same inversion with gold, because as Bloomberg reports, quote, mainland China's gold imports have surged more than sixfold, etc., adding to signs that the country may displace India as the world's largest consumer of precious metal on an annual basis. And the punchline: the purchases through Hong Kong may signal that the mainland is accumulating reserves, London-based brokerage Sharps Pixley Ltd said in February. The nation last made its reserves known more than 2 years ago, stating them at 1,054 tons back then. From Bloomberg, imports from Hong Kong were 135,000 kilograms, or basically 135 metric tons, between January and March, from 19,000 kilograms, or 19.7 tons. That's a massive increase. There's a little more there. I really don't need to continue with that. From Jim Sinclair. Jim Sinclair had said recently that, what was the date? It was either sometime in June or July, and it's strictly based off of the National Defense Authorization Act that President Obama signed in December, that makes it not necessarily a crime, but you're basically doing business with the enemy act, if you will. Anyone who deals with people that we have, like Iran, we put sanctions on Iran. Anyone, not only Iran, but anyone who tries to do business with Iran is also going to be on our little no-no list. And we use what is known as the SWIFT system, or the SWIFT banking system. Any transfer of funds from one country to another, one person, whatever, it uses the SWIFT banking system. SWIFT. How would you get by using SWIFT? Oh, I don't know, gold, silver, barter? Yeah. So here's his list of things of how important this is going to be. And again, I forget if it's June or July. Oh, here it is. June 28th. June 28th of 2012. And I'd like to remind you too that the Federal Reserve's 100 or 99-year charter, 1913, 99 years later, 2012, December 21st, which is interesting, end of the Mayan calendar for interesting date, but nonetheless, that's the end of the Federal Reserve. The charter ends. What are we going to do in this country? Are we going to, after what happens, are we really going to sit here and say, you know what, let's keep the Federal Reserve into power and continue what it's doing? Let's give them another 99 years. I think they're doing this, what they're doing now, on purpose, so that they're realizing, hey, man, the clock's ticking. We've got a few more months, several more months, whatever, to the end of the year. We're gonna go out with a bang. JP Morgan, all our boys, QE3's coming, and man, are you going to enjoy it. We're gonna be kicked out at the end of the year anyway, so hey, might as well have fun with it, right? Who knows what they're gonna do? But here's some of his reasoning. Jim Sinclair. It is reasonable to assume that China has been threatened with total or at least selective exclusion from the SWIFT system if it pays in any currency for Iranian oil. Because if no matter what currency they choose, still has to go through the SWIFT system to pay for that oil to Iran. Oh, but Iran's on the sanctions list here. Where sorry, China, you can't pay. We can't use our SWIFT system. That's what we're ultimately telling. So ultimately, our country is committing an act of war on other countries. That's ultimately what this is. But God forbid if I tell the truth and say that. Oh, you're unpatriotic. So where's my damn flag? Support our troops. As I read, another one just died, left his wife and a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. I'd like to give her a phone call. How'd that work out for you? How's keeping our freedoms, protecting our freedoms working for you when you're not doing jack crap in regards to our freedoms? You're causing people to get pissed off even more over there and want to harm us even more. You want to defend us? Hey, that's what you're supposed to do. But you're not supposed to be over there offensively doing things, which is what we're doing. Why are we still over there? Saddam Hussein was captured. Osama bin Laden, if you want to believe that BS, hey, they said it. He's gone. Why are we still over there? Why are we over there? Who are we after now? Yemen, we just fired a drone. Drone just fired to hit a nice top military Al-Qaeda guy. Why are we over there? To knock off guys that you've never even seen before, and 1 or 2 guys here and there. I mean, billions and billions of dollars like every day, basically, going over there to find and knock out 1 or 2 guys. You know, are we serious? Number 2, gold has been decided by China as the means of making payment for massive international purchase free of the SWIFT system. 3, other Asian and Middle Eastern nations will now see the gold they hold as money free of Western economic interference. And they may realize, hey, we need a lot more gold than we currently have because we can bypass the whole Western power structure via the SWIFT system. I like gold. As a matter of fact, we like it a lot. And there's going to be a lot of demand for that. And having said that, he said this about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I think. Here's something from today. Our last page. Hold on. Last page. Turkey exports massive quantities of gold to Iran and Arab Spring nations. What? Did they just read Jim Sinclair's little speech here of a couple weeks ago? Really? Is that why they're doing this? No. They did exactly what he said. Hey, we found a way to bypass these Western bastards who are always in our damn business. Gold. While Turkey has assured the U.S. government it will cut purchases of oil from Iran by 20% this year, its total trade with the Islamic Republic increased by 47% to $4.8 billion in the first quarter from a year earlier. Sanctions aimed at isolating Iran because of its nuclear program, combined with revolutions in the Middle East, have spurred a tripling in the region's purchases of Turkish precious metals and jewels to 942 million in the first 3 months from 282 million the same year period last year. This 30% increase in demand is contributing to gold remaining above $1,600 an ounce in what has all the hallmarks of another period of consolidation prior to higher prices. Turkey is exporting massive quantities of gold to Iran and Arab Spring countries as citizens in those countries switch to portable wealth. That was a quote. Mert Yildiz, chief economist for Turkey at Renaissance Capital, told Bloomberg on April 30th. Really? The increase in trade with Iran comes as sanctions make it harder for trading partners such as Turkey, India, and China to pay in dollars or euros. Iran said in February it would accept payment in any local currency or gold. Reuters reports today that Iran is accepting payments in yuan, which is the Chinese dollar, for some of the crude it supplies to China, the Iranian ambassador to the United Arab Emirates said on Tuesday. Quote, yes, that is correct. Mohammad Reza Fayaz told Reuters when asked to comment on an earlier report in the Financial Times. And again, the National Defense Act that was passed by Obama and our cronies in Congress states that by the end of that date, was June 28th, it kicks into gear. So all these countries over there who want to use that SWIFT system like they always have are finding themselves in another couple months, we got to be in compliance. Actually, well, a couple months because it's at the end of June, but nonetheless, around 60 days from now, they're going to have to comply. Well, or else, you know, we may end up in their land bombing them. So, or I'm sorry, did I say that? I meant over in their lands, freeing their people from tyrants, and then putting in the Muslim Brotherhood, or not, excuse me, not putting in the Muslim Brotherhood, allowing the people to vote, and mysteriously the Muslim Brotherhood takes over. That's what I meant to say. Number 5, the SWIFT system is becoming ever more of a weapon of Western international political will. Number 6, in case of war anywhere, it now demonstrated for all to see that only gold will buy the materials required. Paper currencies are under the SWIFT system's control and settlement. Gold is not. Number 7, far from being a barbaric relic, gold is now clearly the money of state survival in every sense. Number 8, it is reasonable and possible for the supply of physical gold to fall far behind the size of the massive short positions, paper short positions, now common to algorithm and hedge fund paper shorts. That will make an effective cover at a reasonable price as compared to a certain day's close impossible the following day on an exogenous event. Gold is officially replacing the US dollar as of June 28th, 2012, according to Jim Sinclair. The cat is out of the bag, and he says, Phil, you are booting any nation that dares to refuse to be legislated by any other body than themselves out of the SWIFT system. Let me read that again, because I kind of butchered that. Phil, you are booting any nation that dares to refuse to be legislated by any other body than themselves out of the SWIFT system. As Lindsey Williams said, Obama and friends have shot ourselves in the foot by doing this. Jim Sinclair has just said the same thing. I'm telling you the same thing. That does not mean on June 28th, the stroke of midnight, wake up that day or whatever, hey, the dollar's still available. Hey, we're still buying and trading oil with dollars. That's not what I'm saying. That just put the nail in the coffin as a workaround to that system. And everyone's realizing, hey, there's this ancient relic, or as Bernanke calls it, just an old tradition known as gold that we can trade. We can ship it to you in ships, bring the goods back on those ships. You're happy, we're happy. We didn't have to use this electronic system known as the SWIFT system to do any of this. And that SWIFT system can lock our bank accounts, can say you now have financial sanctions on top of these other trading sanctions, and we're freezing your bank accounts. You're not going to freeze their gold because it's not in your possession. It's not going through your system. So what they've ultimately done is just showed the world what real money is. And now it's becoming not just a political tool over there, but a way around, as it said, a way around bullying nations such as, unfortunately, I hate to say this, America, where I live. This is not the America I was taught about in school. This is not the America you're being told about right now. This is not the America that was left to us by our forefathers. I hate to say that, it's the truth. All you have to do is look around and read the NDAA, the executive order of March 16th, as well as some other ones. Obama signed it, the Congress passed through these bills. This is not the America you were taught, or I. So, bottom line is, this is massively bullish for gold and silver. Does that mean they keep, so we can't see $20 silver or $25 silver? No, that's not what I'm saying. Of course you can, because the current time right now, those prices are set on Wall Street. But this Thursday, by the way, a Hong Kong silver trading exchange opens up. It is not the one, from my understanding, it is absolutely not the one that Andrew Maguire said will be coming online soon. But it is an exchange in Hong Kong for selling silver. It is a silver exchange. And that kicks into gear, I believe, this Thursday. Again, that does not necessarily mean that we should expect a massive increase in prices or a massive decrease in prices, or one or the other. It's just another avenue for people to use an exchange aside from the corrupt and disgusting COMEX with the CME Group and JP Morgan Custodian and the CFTC, who promises to regulate but does not regulate, etc. That system, you are witnessing it being dismantled slowly but surely right now. It is going away. It is not away. It still has power. It still can change the price of silver and gold. But as you can clearly see by what I just read you, which is 100% fact, this exchange coming online is 100% fact. These are things that are showing you US dollar is definitely going away. America's influence as the superpower and its influence on prices of everything is going away. And maybe by chance, we know that, you think, so we're pushing all the commodities prices down now anyways, while we still have some power. And at the same time, we're gearing up for what I'm telling you I believe is QE3. And we'll let everything inflate again. It'll be the final inflating event before all hell breaks loose, in my opinion. So, if Lindsey Williams' timeline is still on, then that means we have till roughly the end of 2012. And I know their timeline appears to be way off, because we are still not even stepping foot into Syria yet. It took months and months and months to get rid of Gaddafi in Libya. And now we're working on Syria, and after Syria there may be one or two other ones, and then there's Saudi Arabia. Or maybe right after Syria it's Saudi Arabia. As Lindsey said, we're going to cause these little uprisings, and then they're going to raise the price of oil massively when it gets to Saudi Arabia. We're not even freaking done with Syria. So, is the plan still the plan? Did they change the plan? You know, Lindsey hasn't talked to this guy in a while now. I'd like to really love to hear Lindsey Williams say something. Now, I've just got the phone with them, or the last 2 days, and this is what he told me the new plan is, or the same plan, or whatever, something, because this guy's got phenomenal information. But since the Federal Reserve Act ends this year, no matter what does that mean? It almost means like they need the dollar to be destroyed on cue at the end of the year, like he originally planned. So maybe it's still going to be on, even though the events in the Middle East are not going to be on and get accomplished. Or we'll hear a bill getting passed through Congress, the 6 months addition to the Federal Reserve Act, such and such, whatever they want to call it, and it'll pass so that they're extended. Federal Reserve extends its power for another 6 months on top of that, and halfway through 2013 kind of thing. There's no telling. But I'm going to keep paying attention and reporting on the things that I see and my opinions on these things, and I will share it with you. So I will talk to you all later.